Welcome back inside the Brogan Hillman show, and today we have a great video. We have the 2024-25 NFL off-season power rankings and predictions. If you want to see your team's predictions and rankings, skip below on the timeline. You can find your team down there. And also at the very end, there's a special surprise, a playoff picture. But before we get into the video, you already know the deal. Make sure to like, subscribe. We're almost at 800 subscribers. And before we get into it, we have the Bible verse. Today's Bible verse is 2 Thessalonians 3:16, and it goes, "May the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you." Now this is just saying, be filled with peace. Do not worry, do not stress, do not get, mad, angry. It's okay to feel these emotions, but don't let it overtake your life. Your general emotions should be peace. You should be content with your life, content with the Lord, and always pushing to be the best version of yourself for him. You should feel at peace and happy with where you are in life when you are with the Lord, and you should never worry because he is by your side and he will always be with you. This is just saying, trust in the Lord with all you say and do. Have peace in the Lord, and he will be there for you. I love you all very much. Now let's get into the NFL 2024-25 season predictions and rankings. The very first team we have on this list is the Carolina Panthers. They went 2-15 last year. I think they're going to look good going 3-14. It's not going to be too bad. It'll be a lot better than last season. They're just a new coach coming in, first-year head coach, second-year quarterback in Bryce Young. I think he'll take a good sophomore step up. They went out and got him protection like Robert Hunt. They got him targets and Xavier Legette and some others. I think they will look good going 3-14. I just still see them losing a lot of close games, not being able to pull out some games they should have, just all this and all that, not winning too many games, going 3-14. But they're not going to look terrible. They're going to look a lot more put together than they did last season, and it's not going to be a dumpster fire of a season like it was last year. I think it's going to look a lot more improved, but still only managing to get 3 wins on the season. So I had the Panthers going 3-14 and being bottom of the barrel in the league again this year, but there's a lot to look forward to for the upcoming years for the Panthers. At 31, I had the New England Patriots. They went 4-13 last year. I have them repeating the same exact record this year at 4-13. First-year head coach Gerard Mayo coming in, taking over for long-time legendary Bill Belichick, and then obviously your third overall draft pick Drake May coming in to take the helm. I just don't see them translating too well first year. Not to say they're not going to be a good team, they just don't have many targets. I mean, you have the rookie Jalen Polk just drafted, you have some other targets coming in, you have Juju Smith-Schuster still there, but that offense overall does not have a lot of weapons on it, and that defense isn't too studded either. I just think it's going to be a struggle first year, and I have them repeating 4-13. It's not going to look terrible, but it's not going to look great. They're also in a very good AFC East with 3 really good playoff contending teams, and they're not going to be that at all this season. 4-13, but it's going to be a respectable season, but the Patriots just struggle for the second year in a row at 4-13. The Washington Commanders, another team that went 4-13 last year. I had them at number 30 on this list. They're not going to look terrible at all. Obviously, second overall pick Jaden Daniels right there on the graphic. Very, very good Heisman winning quarterback at LSU. I think he's amazing. Had a mock to the Commanders. I think everyone had a mock to the Commanders. I feel like this offense is not going to be bad at all. You have Scary Terry. You have 2 very good running backs in that room. You have some more targets for him to work with. I think this offense is not going to look bad at all. I think he'll run it better than Sam Howell did. They're excited for RG3 2.0 there in Jaden Daniels, but I just think, again, first-year head coach obviously coming in again. So that's a common theme here in the bottom of the list. You have first-year head coach, first-year quarterbacks, second-year quarterbacks. It's just inexperience and lack of chemistry is what really kills you in this league. It's all about finding your game plan and, working together as a unit, being collective. And that's what a lot of these bottom-of-the-barrel teams lack. It's just a matter of not being together too long and not having experience playing together. That's all. It's not that you're bad or you can't get it figured out. I feel like the Commanders will, but I just have them winning 5 games this year. And 1 game step up from last year. Jaden Daniels is going to take over, and he'll have a really good rookie year. At number 29 on this list, I have the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is a team that can either flop or they can shine. Another first-year head coach coming in for the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis coming in his 3rd year in the NFL. His 2nd year is like a true starter. Obviously, we had to watch him come back on my Dolphins last year and lead a great game. That's probably the best I've ever seen him play in the league by far. But this is a hit-or-miss team for sure. I mean, you have targets coming in like Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Will Levis obviously is still starting at quarterback. This is a team that's either going to perform way better than people expect or they're not going to perform well at all. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. They're a dark horse this year for sure, and they're the team that's on the edge. They can either perform really well or really bad. It just depends on how they want to come out and execute their game plan. They can do what the Giants did a couple years back with Brian Daboll, first-year head coach coming in, and they just make a playoff run. They shock everyone. Or they can just be 5-12 like I have them being. I just don't think they're going to perform too well everyone together first year as a collective unit. I think they're going to go 5-12, a step down from last year, and finish 29th in the bottom of the league. The Arizona Cardinals at number 28, a team that is Ohio State 2.0. No, I'm just kidding. But with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Paris Johnson as your 2 first-round picks from these last 2 years, 2 Ohio State legends, 2 studs, helping build this offense even more, give Kyler Murray some targets. I still got them going 5-12, nothing too crazy. I think they're just still trying to figure it out. Obviously, you have your second-year head coach coming in after Cliff Kingsbury was fired. Just atrocious job there. Not too bad, but it was whatever. Jonathan Gannon has the realms now, and I think he's going to do a lot better of a job with this Cardinals team. I just still think they're going to need some time to accumulate. Again, the common theme, build chemistry, and work together as a unit. Would not be surprised if this team performed better than 5-12, performed a lot better than 5-12. This could be an 8-9 win team if they really put it together and make a run, but I have the Arizona Cardinals going 5-12, finishing at number 28, near the bottom of the league. But again, just like the Titans, I would not be surprised if this team made some noise, but I personally don't have them making much noise. I have them finishing at 28th, going 5-12, a step up from last year. At 27, we have the Denver Broncos, a team that went 8-9 last year. I have them taking a significant step down a little bit, have them going 5-12. I just don't see them performing as well. You know, Bo Nix coming in, 13th overall pick in this NFL draft. Sean Payton he's been interesting as the Broncos head coach, that's for sure. A year or two at that realm, and it's just been an interesting year or two there for the Broncos. They just don't seem like a team that should perform that well, but they always find ways to squeak out some games, overperform at times. But I think this year is really going to catch up to him, especially with the first-year quarterback and then a guy like Zach Wilson behind him in that quarterback room. It'll just be very, very interesting. They're in a very, very good AFC West as well. 2, potentially 3 teams that could pretend to the playoffs in that division. I don't think the Broncos are going to be one of them. I have them finishing at 5-12. Again, they're in a tough division, playing those teams 2 times a year, and the AFC is just loaded this year. I don't see them making much noise in the NFL at all. I had them going 5-12, a 3-game step down from last year, and I had them finishing at 27 in my rankings. Number 26, we had the New York Giants, a team that went 6-11 last year. I'm going 6-11 again this year. Their new 6th overall pick, Malik Neighbors, one of my favorite receivers in this whole draft class. I think he is electric, and he was 1A, 1B with Marvin Harrison Jr. right there. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. being 1A. But Malik Neighbors was very, very good coming out of LSU with Jaden Daniels, the Heisman winner, as his quarterback. I just think the Giants are a team. There's always something with the Giants. Daniel Jones is still there under contract. He's still the starter there, which I think he's not a bad quarterback at all. I don't know how much they're going to win with Daniel Jones under the helm. I don't think he's bad at all. He's capable of winning games. We've seen that. He's proven. Brian Daboll, he's a good coach. I like Brian Daboll. I think he can step up his game plan a little bit. I just don't see them making too much noise in a division that's pretty good. With Jaden Daniels now coming into that division as well, his ex-quarterback, as we know, Commanders won't be too bad, and the Cowboys and the Eagles obviously, I think, stomped the Giants this year. I have them finishing at 6-11 again in a good NFC. NFC's not crazy, but it's not bad at all either. I have the Giants finishing 6-11. I think this is exactly where they will be. Same spot they finished last year, and I have them finishing 26th in my rankings. I think that's fair for the Giants for sure. So I have them finishing 6-11, 26 in my rankings. Number 25 on this list, I have the Minnesota Vikings. J.J. McCarthy taking over as the first-year quarterback, rookie quarterback there in Minnesota. We just saw Justin Jefferson get extended for a huge amount of money, biggest contract by a non-quarterback in NFL history, so props to him. Very well deserved. But I think this is a team that still is going to continue their struggles a little bit. They're just a very interesting team, especially with J.J. McCarthy taking over. He's really hit or miss in the NFL. I feel like his first year is going to be a little bit of a slow transition. Remind us a lot of Bryce Young's first year in the NFL. He just doesn't have that much protection. It's not a bad O-line, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this offense maneuvers first year in like 4 or 5 years, not under Kirk Cousins. I just don't know how this is going to go. They went 7-10 last year. I think they're going to continue those struggles a little bit. They're in a very, very good NFC North now. Bears are looking to make some noise. Caleb Williams and that whole stacked offense. Lions obviously performing very, very well as of recent, and the Packers and Jordan Love are rolling. They have to play all those teams twice a year, and I just don't know how the Vikings are going to pan out in that division. I think they're going to finish last at 6-11, and they finished 25th in my NFL rankings. Number 24, we had the New Orleans Saints, a team that went 9-8 last year. They're in a very interesting division. It's not terrible, but it's also not good. It's probably one of the worst divisions in the NFL, probably the worst division in the NFL. They have the Falcons and the Buccaneers and also the Panthers in that division. They play all those teams twice a year. That's looking like a split division. I mean, all those teams are just mediocre. There's no really one shining above the other. I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be probably finish second, third in that division at 7-10. I just don't see him making that much noise. Derek Carr under center. He just looked all right last year. He didn't look like anything special. Dennis Allen going into his third year, I believe, as the head coach. And their targets are pretty good. I respect their targets. I like them a lot. And they went out and got a big lineman in that draft. I mean, I love that lineman pickup they got, the 14th overall pick. I thought that was very, very good. The Saints, they're just a very interesting team. We'll see how they pan out. I personally think they are going to go 7-10. Just mediocre, not good, not near the middle, more bottom middle of the league. So I have them finishing 7-10. New Orleans Saints are still a team that just has struggles, and they just don't strike me as someone that's going to make a lot of noise this season. So I have them finishing at 24 in my power rankings. 23, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, Aiden O'Connell's team. And this actually, I like this a lot. I like Aiden O'Connell coming out of Purdue. I thought he was very, very good. So the fact that he's getting a starting job opportunity, I love it. I think he's going to take this opportunity this year and really show what he can do. 7-10, not anything too crazy, but they are in a very good division with the Chargers and Chiefs in that division. Also the Broncos, I don't think they're going to make much noise. We already covered them. This is the Raiders segment. It's just Aiden O'Connell strikes me as someone that's, again, hit or miss, but I think he is more potential hit upside. I really like his ceiling. I think he could perform very, very well, outperform what Jimmy G did during his tenure there in Las Vegas, obviously. But I had the Raiders going 7-10, finishing 23, kind of near the bottom in my power rankings. We're making a cameo by the dogs here, if you couldn't tell by the noise in the background. But I had the Raiders again going 7-10. In a very good division. I think they're going to miss out on the playoffs this year. Not their year for the playoffs. I don't think they're going to get a winning record this year either. I have them going one step down from where they were last year. But overall, very good team. I like the Raiders. I think they have a chance to make noise. And I had them finishing at 23 in my power ranking. The Los Angeles Rams. Now, this might come as a surprise to some of you guys. I have them this low. I have them at 22, going 7-10. I think the NFC West is very, very good. Seahawks are a team that has potential to make noise. 49ers obviously are very, very good. And the Cardinals, they have some upside. Again, I told them they could make noise or not. They're in a very good division. 7-10 seems respectable for them. Again, they have to play all those teams 2 times a year. And Matt Stafford's not getting any younger. We know he can win football games. We know he's good, but he is not getting any younger. I think this year we're really going to see age take a toll on him, and he's going to take a step down in his game. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, obviously very good targets, but when your quarterback's regressing like that, who's going to be able to get you the ball? I think the Rams, again, going to take a step down this year. They're going to get a reality check. They won the Super Bowl 4 years ago. So this is a different team from the Super Bowl. Obviously, Aaron Donald retired this offseason as well. I think we're going to see a very different Rams team that we're used to seeing these past couple years. Going to go 7-10. Sean McVay really struggling this season. The Rams overall just struggling, and they finish at 22, near the bottom of the league, which is we're not used to seeing this with the Los Angeles Rams finishing bottom of the league at all. But I do have them finishing at 7-10, near the bottom of the league at 22 in my NFL power rankings. Here they are, the Chicago Bears at number 21. This is the team I am most excited to see. I think a lot of people can agree with that. The team that we're most excited to watch this season, the Chicago Bears, went 7-10 last year. That always surprises me that they went 7-10 last year. They did not. They looked like a terrible 7-10 team last year. But I have them taking a step up this year, going 8-9, winning 8 ball games. Caleb Williams has a good rookie year, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, as we all expected. And he just pairs up with his targets very, very well. Keenan Allen, Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. It's just a very, very good offense. And I think this defense is very, very good too. I like their rookies. I like their corners. I like that secondary a lot. And I like what they're cooking in Chicago. I think they have a very good game plan going on. Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, they have this ship moving. And I think the Bears are going to look like a whole new team this season. Brand new identity, and they're going to look like a legit contender for years to come. This year's sort of just a transition year, getting used to all their new pieces, all their new targets. Have them winning one more game than they did last year, but looking a lot better than they did last year. I have them going 8-9, finishing around the middle of the pack, but a very respectable season coming up from the Chicago Bears. But I had them finishing 21 in my power rankings. Number 20, we got the Indianapolis Colts. They went 9-8 last year with Gardner Minshew under the helm. I think Anthony Richardson comes back from that shoulder injury. He takes a little bit more time to recover. He looks slow, looks a little rusty. They drop a couple early on in the season, but then they sort of find their rhythm. They go on a little win streak, but they finish off ultimately 8-9 in a very good AFC. In the AFC South, obviously, with some contenders in there, the Texans and the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence just got paid, and the Titans, who I said have potential to make noise near the bottom of the league. Watch out for them. So I think the Colts, again, they have to play those teams 2 times a year. It's just going to be very interesting. I think that injury to Anthony Richardson is really going to hinder him coming back, and he's going to have a slow sophomore season, a slow recovery. But I feel like they're going to win some games. They're going to look respectable doing it. I really like Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr., Jonathan Taylor, obviously. They have a very good offense, and they have weapons on the defense as well. I just think the Colts are going to be slow coming off Anthony Richardson's injury and not win too many games, but not look bad at all doing it either. Just finish middle of the barrel, 8-9, very respectable season, and I had them finishing at number 20 in my power rankings. Number 19, we are in the teens. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a divisional round team last year. Actually, I almost said wild card, but no, they knocked off the Eagles in the wild card, went to the divisional round, and played Detroit very, very well. I think they're going to take a game step down last year. They're in a very meh division. We've already talked about that, the NFC South. Baker Mayfield got paid 3 years, $100 million, but they're just a team that's they're good. They're all right every single year. They're good every single year. I just think they're going to take a little bit step down. They're going to look a little slow. They're not going to look as good as they did last year. Don't be surprised if they make a little noise as well. I think the Bucs have potential to win that division again, but I do think that they are going to finish 8-9, second in that division behind, you'll see here in a minute. You already can tell by who hasn't been said yet. But I have them finishing 8-9. Baker Mayfield, another very respectable season up in the books. Have them finishing again middle of the pack, going 8-9, finishing 19 in my power rankings. Buccaneers, they're not going to look bad, but they're not going to look good. They're just going to look meh. They're going to look middle of the tier, which is where they are in these power rankings. So look out for the Buccaneers at number 19 in my power rankings. Number 18, and it is insane to me that you can win your division. It's not even being in the top half of the rankings, but you're still going to win that division. That's how meh the NFC South is. They went 7-10 last year, but the big noise they are making, this offense is cooking. You have Kirk Cousins, you have Bijan Robinson, who's looking to be more in the CMC role, we've heard him say. You also have Drake London, Kyle Pitts. You have good targets overall. This offense is going to look really good. Not to mention the defense, you have targets like Jesse Bates. You still have a lot of great secondary there. You're also cooking up that box too. I think the Falcons are going to be a very respectable team, also having a first-year head coach, but they're going to find a little more success having veterans and just players that know how to play football. Very, very good football players. I have the Falcons going 9-8, winning this division, squeaking by 1 game over the Buccaneers. That's all the difference in this division. You have to play every single game like it matters, because it does in that division. I have the Falcons and Kirk Cousins, who made a very questionable pick with Michael Penix Jr. We already know that. Squeaking by and going 9-8, winning that division, not even finishing in the top half of the rankings, finishing 18, but they are a division winner in my power rankings. Another one that may come as a little shock to some people, I have the Cleveland Browns going 9-8, finishing in the bottom half of my power rankings. I just think with Deshaun Watson coming back full-time this season, we're really going to see just a drop-off, kind of. I just don't see this team making much noise. We saw him get obliterated in the wild card versus the Texans. They played it close for a little bit, and then the Texans pulled away and did their thing. I just don't see the Browns making noise this season. I don't see them being that explosive, that good. They strike me as another middle-of-the-barrel team, another meh team. I had them going 9-8 and finishing middle of the barrel, almost dead middle actually. But Deshaun Watson, he was very, very good in Houston, went back there for the playoff game, just got squandered. He obviously didn't play, Joe Flacco did. But I just don't see Deshaun Watson making that much noise in his full season return, his full season with the Browns, barring another injury, which I pray doesn't happen. But I just think they're going to finish meh, bottom, just mid. They're in a very good division as well. You have the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals in that division. They play them all twice a year, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's 6 losses right there. But I just had the Browns finishing middle of the barrel, 17 in my power rankings. Speaking of the Steelers, here they are in the top half of my rankings. They went 10-7 last year. Mike Tomlin always finds a way to get a winning record, and I have them squeaking out another winning record this year. It's close. They go 9-8. Justin Fields on the graphics. Obviously, we know he's number 2, and he's not even going to start this year. Russell Wilson will be the starter there in Pittsburgh, but this is going to be very, very good for Justin Fields. He sits back and learns behind Russell Wilson for a year. He's going to pick up so much knowledge from that MVP winning, Super Bowl winning quarterback, so that's going to be great for his young development. But I think the Steelers are a team, again, we mentioned the division earlier, the Browns, the Ravens, the Bengals. It's a very, very good division. Very hard to come out on top. And I think they're going to finish, again, just like their counterparts in the Browns, middle of the barrel, going 9-8, same exact record as those Cleveland Browns. And I think it's going to be another respectable Mike Tomlin season. He just got his contract renewed for even longer in Pittsburgh. But I don't see him winning too many games. I don't see him losing too many. It's Mike Tomlin. He'll find a way to get a winning record. But I have them finishing 9-8, just squeaking out another one, finishing 16 in my power rankings. Again, make sure to stick around to the very end of the video. Fast forward if your team has already been called, or just go to the end of the video right now to check out the playoff picture that I have made with these rankings. But at 15, we have the Seattle Seahawks. They went 9-8 last year. I have them going 9-8 again this year. They're just a team that's, again, middle of the barrel. Geno Smith is very respectable, comeback player of the year, obviously, 2 years ago. Very solid quarterback. I like him a lot. That offense is very good. A lot of depth at that receiver position. You have Tyler Lockett. You have DK Metcalf. You also have Jackson Smith-Njigba, and you also have Jake Bobo. He is a stud. I love Jake Bobo. But you're just a very deep team in the offense. Defense is really good too. Devon Witherspoon. You have a lot of young targets. Tariq Woolen. You just have a ton of talent on this team, and I think that'll carry them to a winning season again this year, going 9-8. Will this be enough to push them into the playoffs? Again, go to the very end of the video and stay tuned to find out if it does. But I have the Seattle Seahawks finishing 9-8, number 15 in my power rankings. Number 14, we have the Dallas Cowboys, a very respectable team. We know this team has winning seasons after winning seasons, just a very good team overall. We know how good they are with their offense, their defense as well. Micah Parsons is just a stud. CeeDee Lamb, the man on the graphic, is obviously a stud. And Dak Prescott, contract year. Is he going to get paid? Is he not going to get paid? They're going to go out and get a young quarterback next year's draft, free agency. I'm very interested to see what they do at that quarterback position. It's going to be super fun. But I feel like he's going to lead them to another winning record this season. They just re-signed Zeke, which isn't anything. Meh. But you have this good offense obviously returning. Jake Ferguson, I really like at tight end as well. They're very solid year after year. Their division allows them to get some wins, poach off the Giants and the Commanders. They always kill those two teams. So 10-7, just a step down from last year. Really no improvements. They didn't really do anything in offseason at all. They went out and got a very good lineman in the draft, Tyler Guyton, and I feel like they're just going to finish middle of the barrel, 10-7, a little bit on the upper side though, and this will be enough to push them into the playoffs in my opinion. Overall, just a very consistent playoff team, very consistent with the winning records, and I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are going to do it again, going 10-7 and finishing 14th in my rankings. Number 13, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence just got paid a hefty contract, 5 years, $275 million. Go watch that video right up here. Is the most recent video besides from this one. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, Travis Etienne, a very, very solid team. I love this team in Jacksonville, and I feel like they're going to have a very respectable season this year, going 10-7 in a very stacked AFC. We know their division's also very good. They have the Titans in there, Colts, and the Texans. A lot of young teams, a lot of young quarterbacks at the helm. Will they be enough to push them into playoffs at 10-7 or win the division? We will have to stay tuned to the very end to find out. This is a team that they're not too consistent, but they're also very, very good. We saw what they did in the wild card, coming back and beating the Chargers 2 years ago. And I feel like Trevor Lawrence is going to have a great fourth year in the NFL. He's going to step up his game even more, go for another 4,000-yard passing season, and elevate them to a 10-7 respectable winning season. And I had them finishing near the top of the rankings compared to, all the other dumpster fires we've seen before this. But I had them finishing 10-7 at 13 on the upside of these power rankings. Again, finishing at 13. The Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, second year at the helm, had a very good first starting year campaign. And I think everyone at this point is on the Jordan Love bandwagon. I really like this kid. I'm rooting for him a lot. He's not really a kid anymore. It's like his 5th, 6th season in the NFL. Going into his 5th year, he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3. Started last year. Now he's starting his 2nd year. I think he's going to step up even more. He is a very good head coach, helping him throughout his young development. And he sat behind Aaron Rodgers and learned for that long. Matt LaFleur is also helping him develop his game there. He's just very good. He knows what he's doing, and this Packers team's going to get rolling. He has a lot of young targets, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks I also really like. He just has people to throw the ball to. It's overall a very well-coached team, very good offense, a good defense as well. And they just roll. They win games in a very good division, and they're going to do what it takes to elevate them into the playoffs this year. I have the Green Bay Packers finishing near the top of my ranks at number 12. There is a lot of 11s on the screen right now. We got 11-6 this year. They went 11-6 last year, and they are number 11 in my power rankings. The Dolphins, they're a team. They didn't really change too much from last year at all. I mean, we went out, we got edge rushers to pair. I mean, we saw Jalen Phillips get injured, saw Bradley Chubb get injured. A lot of injuries last year. Jerome Baker got injured. So we went out and got Chop Robinson, Muhammad Kamara. We went and signed Shaquille Barrett. We just signed Calais Campbell yesterday recently. So not too much change, only good change really on this team. Coaching schemes are all the same. Returners are all the same really. We lost X. That's probably our only notable departure I can name. So I think we are going to be very, very solid this year again. It's going to be just more of executing than anything. We have the chemistry there still from last year. It's going to be more of executing our game plan, playing our game, and I have us finishing with a very similar result as last year, just going 11-6. Is that enough to push them into the playoffs in a very loaded AFC? Again, stay tuned to the end to find out. But the Miami Dolphins, my Miami Dolphins, I have finishing at number 11. The biggest shocker on this list for sure, the biggest jump from last year, 5-12 last year, going 11-6 this year. I mean, Brandon Staley is out as the head coach. Jim Harbaugh, national championship winning coach, is in. You also went out and gotten some more targets in Ladd McConkey. I just think this Chargers team's overall very good. I didn't think the roster was too bad last year at all. Obviously, you lose Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, but you still have Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, who was a first-round pick not too long ago, and you have Justin Herbert, obviously your poster child. You just paid him a ton of money as well. This is a very solid offense, and their defense is not bad at all either. You have Asante Samuel, you have a lot of other great key players on that defense. I think they are ready to make a run. They sneak into the playoffs. They make some noise in the AFC in that really good division. I just think they are a team that is going to compete this year. They're going to be way more competitive than they were last year. They're going to have that fast flip around like the Bengals did a while ago when Joe Burrow came into his second year in the league. I can see that flip around happening. 11-6 is a very possible record for this Chargers team, and look out for them at number 10. They are top 10 in my NFL power rankings. Another team, just like the Chicago Bears, that everyone is super excited to see play this upcoming season, the New York Jets. Obviously lost Aaron Rodgers in like 3 or 4 plays last season. Never got to see him play with the Jets and Garrett Wilson like they wanted to. I'm super excited to see how they perform, even though they're in my division and I'm really scared. I think the Jets are going to have a great season. They're going to go 11-6. They went 7-10, obviously, with Zach Wilson at the helm last year. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have this team rolling, and when they get hot and they get going, this is a Super Bowl contending team. I mean, you have a Super Bowl winning 3-time NFL MVP quarterback at the helm. Anything is possible. Robert Saleh, a very solid coach as well. A very well-coached team with a lot of pieces, a lot of great players. You have a lot of chemistry as well with Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb on that offense. There's chemistry. There's good coaching, there's great players, there's, I mean, just overall studs. Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Aaron Rodgers, 3-time NFL winning quarterback. It's scary. You look at this team's resume and they have all the pieces to make a run, all the pieces to win, and I think they're going to do just that, going 11-6, making a playoff run potentially in the AFC. You have to look out for a playoff prediction video, but I had the New York Jets finishing number 9 in my power rankings. The Buffalo Bills, much like the Miami Dolphins, finished 11-6 last season, and I still have them going 11-6 this season. Same exact thing for the Miami Dolphins, same exact division, play them twice a year. I'm very scared of this team as a Dolphins fan. Even though they lose Stephon Diggs to the Texans, I don't think they're going to take too much of a step down. They're still a well-coached team with Sean McDermott. They still have great pieces all over the board. They did lose Gabe Davis as well, so their receiving core is going to be very interesting to watch. I think they grabbed a stud in Keon Coleman, another rookie receiver that I love to watch interviews and love talk.
Mason, what you mean?
Keon Coleman is a character. He's very, very interesting. But Josh Allen and this team, I think they're going to get rolling, win 11 games. That seems very plausible for this team. Ton of talent on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I just think the Buffalo Bills overall are going to continue to play their brand of football, continue to win games, and continue to win the division. They're going to come out as your 2024-25 AFC East division winners yet again, going 11-6, a 3-way tie at the top. But the Bills are going to overall pull it out at the top of the AFC East. I think this is a very possible thing, and I have them finishing number 8 in my power rankings. Number 7, America's true team, the Detroit Lions. We see Jahmyr Gibbs, just such a great running back, explosive running back. He's going to have a huge second year. He's going to be the RB1, true RB1. He's going to get majority of the touches over David Montgomery. And I'm just very excited to see how this team's going to look translating again to next season. Dan Campbell's obviously going to have them very well coached. Jared Goff is a really good starting quarterback, obviously first overall pick 9 years ago. So this team is very solid. They're very equipped to win. Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these targets in the offense. Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, like we named already. David Montgomery can break off big runs, third down back. I just think this team is so studded. They just keep getting better and better, and they are very well coached. They're hard grit team. We know what that team's all built about. We watched Hard Knocks. We watched the Lions series on YouTube. We know what this team is about, and we know they're coming out to win football games and play their brand of football, just like the Bills. And just like the Bills, I had them going 12-5, matching their record last year. Bills didn't go 12-5. But I have them matching their record last year. That's what I was trying to get at. I had them going 12-5, winning that division, yes, and making the playoffs easily, securing their spot. Look out for the Lions at number 7 in my power rankings. Number 6, another team that can make a claim for America's team, the Houston Texans. Everyone loves a good underdog story, and that's exactly what the Lions and the Texans are. That's why I have them here at 7-6. Texans also going 12-5, playing their brand of football. D'Amico Ryan, CJ Stroud, they have this team rolling. I mean, they only got better this offseason as well. They went out and got great pieces. Joe Mixon at running back, Stephon Diggs a receiver, obviously. Pair up with that great receiver room. Now you have Stephon Diggs, you have Nico Collins, you have Tank Dell, just John Mechie. You have so many great targets there, so many people to spread the ball around for CJ Stroud, not even to mention Dalton Schultz there at tight end. There's just so much to work with this Houston Texans team, and they're in a division that they can easily pull out and win. Their real competitors would be the Jaguars, the Colts, maybe even the Titans, but we're not too sure about the Titans. We've been over this. But I had the Houston Texans winning that division, surefire, going 12-5, looking amazing this season. Very well coached team with a lot of talent on either side of the ball, and that is the recipe for success. I had them finishing number 6 in my power rankings, going 12-5, winning that division. Look out for them. Number 6 in my power rankings. The Philadelphia Eagles, a team looking to bounce back from last season. Went 11-6, but they got bounced very early in the playoffs. First round wild card by the Bucs. The Eagles are looking for a bounce back year. They didn't even have a bad year. I don't want to call it a bounce back year and disrespect them like that. They're just looking to go a little further in the playoffs, make their push, win that division again, reclaim their title over the Cowboys, who stole that division from them last year. I think the Eagles are going to come out and play with a fire under them this season. They're going to look very good. Missing Jason Kelce, obviously. Their Hall of Fame center. They're missing them, but they have so many replacements on that line. They're going to shift around. It's not going to be the same, but they're going to have talent there to replace and sort of, diminish the load that Jason Kelce had. They're going to reduce the damage a little bit. It's not going to be better, obviously. You can't really replace Jason Kelce just like that, but they're going to make the pain manageable, and I think the Eagles are going to come out and they're going to win a lot of solid games. They're going to look very good this season like they always do. They're going to go 12-5, and they're going to win that division, reclaiming it over the Cowboys, and they are going to be a very solid team to watch this season. Watch out for them at number 5 in my power rankings. Is this even a surprise? We have the Kansas City Chiefs sitting at number 4, top 5 in the power rankings, going 12-5, a step up from last season, and that even pains me to say they're taking a step up from last season. 2 in a row, 2-time Super Bowl champ, the repeat, Patrick Mahomes. He's actually a 3-time, but 2 in a row these last couple of seasons. The Kansas City Chiefs are they're a dynasty. They're this generation's Patriots, and they're just going to be very good year after year as long as Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes are there, Travis Kelce. They're just an insane football team. They're going to win games. They're going to pull out, and they're going to do what it has to do. I don't even want to say they come alive in playoff time, because they're alive all season, but when it's playoff time, they really lock in and they make runs and they do what they have to do. The Kansas City Chiefs are such a lethal team, such a deadly team. You look on your schedule and you see you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs this week, you're not happy. You're not looking forward to the game. You know you're going to have to do what has to be done, but you're not looking forward to it. They're such a scary team, and I hate going against the Kansas City Chiefs every time we have to. That's why I have them at number 4, going 12-5. They always drop some games in the season, but they're overall just such a great football team, and you can never root against Patrick Mahomes. I have them going 12-5, finishing number 4 in my power rankings. Another shocker on the list, the Cincinnati Bengals at number 3. Now, I don't know if this is as much of a shocker, because we know what this Bengals team's capable of, obviously, in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, when they're all healthy, this is a very scary team. Lost Joe Mixon to the Texans this offseason, obviously, but I don't think that's going to hinder their offense too much. They have very solid backs. I just think this is a team that's going to bounce back. This is a real bounce back. Now, we said the Eagles was a bounce back. I think the Bengals are going to be a real bounce back team. Missed the playoffs. Joe Burrow was injured last season. Just a lot that went wrong for that team last season. They're going to bounce back heavy, and they're going to play a great brand of football. only losing 4 games. They're going to go 13-4. They're going to go a 4-game step up from last season, went 9-8, obviously all the injury concerns. Going to go 13-4, just play insane football in an insane division. Probably one of the best divisions in football, in my opinion, the best division in football. They all had winning records last season. That's just unheard of. That's insane. But I had the Cincinnati Bengals going 13-4, just being dominant this season. Talk about a dynasty. I think the Bengals could honestly be a dynasty this upcoming couple years as well. 13-4, just playing an insane brand of football, and I have them at number 3 in my NFL power rankings. Talk about another team that is going to play an insane brand of football. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. Year after year, they're just insane. CMC, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. We don't know how long Brandon Ayuk's going to last, actually. There's still trade rumors going around, trade details that are getting thrown around. Deebo Samuel, that's someone that has trade rumors as well going around. But, I mean, they're just insane. They're insanely well coached, too. Kyle Shanahan just knows what he's doing with this team. He leads them to great records, great seasons, great playoff runs year after year. NFC Championship, Super Bowl, whatever it is, they're near the top of the ranks. And I have them near the top of the ranks this season as well, going 13-4, winning the NFC #1 seed, getting that first round bye in the playoffs. Brock Purdy having one of his most electric seasons yet. 3rd year in the NFL, just having an absolute electric season. San Francisco 49ers really played their brand of football, and they do what they always do, going 13-4, just sweeping their division, winning that division, and looking amazing doing it. Draft CMC in fantasy, please. If you're your first overall pick, please just draft CMC. Don't make the mistake of passing on him. Just draft him, please. He's reliable. No injury concerns for him. Just draft CMC, please. But the 49ers have him finishing 13-4 and number 2 in my power rankings. Who does that leave for number 1? Let's go find out. Before we get into the number 1 team in the NFL, I just want to say this. Ghost Energy. I have all these cans. I have 8 cans over here. Ghost Energy, please sponsor the show. I love your product. I drink it every single day, pretty much every single day. I love Ghost Energy. Ghost Energy, please sponsor the show. If anyone is seeing this, please push this to Ghost Energy. I love you all. Now let's get to the number 1 team in the NFL. The number 1 team in the NFL, the number 1 team in my power rankings. Is it even a surprise? The Baltimore Ravens. We have Isaiah Likely on the graphic. Big Coastal Carolina guy. So proud of all that Ravens team and Isaiah Likely have accomplished, and they will accomplish in this upcoming year. Again, they're very good division. We saw the Bengals finishing 3 and the Ravens finishing 1, both from the same division. That's just how dominant that division is. The AFC North, absolutely disgusting. They're just so good. The Ravens too. You fear playing the Ravens as well. I mean, Dolphins played in week 17. I was very scared of that game, and I had a right to be because we got whooped. The Ravens came out, they played football, they secured up that 1 seed that day, won the AFC that day, and I just can't even complain because we got walloped that game. But the Baltimore Ravens, such a great football team, and we are going to see what they're really made of this season, missing out on the playoffs because the Chiefs came alive, obviously, in that AFC Championship game and got their repeat Super Bowl. But I think it's the Ravens' revenge season. It's their Super Bowl to win this year, going 13-4 again, matching their record last year. They are not forgetting what happened. They are not going to take that lightly, and they're going to go out and play their brand of football. They're going to play crazy games, and they're going to get back to that, and they're going to get to that Super Bowl game. I truly believe that it's either a Ravens or Texans Super Bowl this year, and it is their game to win. I have the Baltimore Ravens finishing atop of the NFL, top of my power rankings, going 13-4, sitting at that number 1 spot. Speaking of which, I told you guys it was coming, the playoff picture. The 2024 NFL playoff picture. This is what it's looking like. I have the Ravens the 1. I have the Chiefs, Chargers, AFC West matchup. The Texans-Jets would be a crazy matchup. I would look forward to that. And then the Bills-Bengals, again, another crazy matchup. 3 great wildcard games. Then we go over to the other side of the bracket. Eagles, Seahawks, Battle of the Birds. We have the Lions, Cowboys, rematch of that 2-point conversion fiasco that happened last year in the wildcard. And then the Falcons, Packers. Not as good of wildcard games. I think the AFC wildcard games would be insane. But the AFC is way more stacked than the NFC is, in my opinion. This is my playoff bracket. Same 1 seeds as last year. They're there for a reason. They're just dominant, great football programs, great football teams, and I think they are well deserved of 1 seeds, obviously. But if you want to see a video of me filling out this exact bracket right here, then let me know in the comments below. I love you all very much. Thank you for tuning into today's video. I love you all very much. Make sure to keep God number 1, like, subscribe, but most importantly, keep God number 1. I love you all very much. It's been Brogan Hillman, and I'm out.
Use a hater, baby, flip you off like skater, baby. Get that paper, baby, come back sometime later, baby. You play both sides, I send a forward. Fool me once, I'll shoot you all. I don't wanna know, shawty.